Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Forged Alliance Forever promotional series with me, your host, Guile. I haven't been out of the loop for at least a month, guys. I do apologise. I've had messages saying, where are you? What's going on? Have you stopped? I do have a good excuse. I have just ended a very toxic 8.5-year relationship. So that is where I've been. I've been busy separating my life from another person, which takes quite a long time after 8 years. Who knew? But that is all over and done with now. I am officially single once again. It feels very strange. But one of the benefits of that is I can get on with my casting day or night. It does not matter. I can get on with stuff. So all I need, guys, are the decent replays to bring to you. So do not hesitate to host some replays on Mediafire and send me the links if you think you've had a good one. I promise I'll take a look at it. Can't promise I'll cast all of them, but I promise you I will take a look at it. This one was a ladder match. It was played last night between Carl and Madstalk, two very seasoned vets. Obviously, we've seen a lot of them. And the map is going to be Syrtis Major. And if somebody else has a better phonetic pronunciation of that, please type it in the comment section below. I don't know how you meant to pronounce that. I mean, I imagine it's something like that, but we'll have to see. You can see Madstalk promptly running straight into the little civilian encampment here, right in the middle of the map. But he's going to turn around because, of course, you've got that T1 point defense there. So that is not going to be busted up until much later on in the game. And there's a nice chunk of mass, obviously, right in the middle. You've got this quantum gateway, which can be harvested. In terms of the actual map, you can have a look round. If I zoom around, it's a pretty interesting map. You've got these kind of two plateau sections. These are the high points of the map. 3 sections of mass on each side of them. And then 2 valley sections, which is of course the main bases. That, I mean, it's generally either a 1v1 or a 2v2 map, so you can have 4 players on this, and it does work very nicely. I've got a very good TLO match from 3599, which I'd love to bring to you guys a little bit later. He's got a couple of 2v2s he did, one with his brother and one with a random. So we'll see if I can bring that to you in the near future. In the meantime, of course, I haven't actually spent much time talking about. Carl has decided to go UEF, which is kind of an interesting pick, actually, for this map. You've got lots of little choke points, so, you know, point defense and static batteries could be very useful. I have to see if he makes the use of it. And you can see that Madstalk has gone FIM, so, yeah, pretty standard. I think that's one of his more favourite races to play. Certainly the one I see him play the most. We'll just have to see how it pans out. You can see that Madstalk has got his spam on. He's rallied most of his T1 units to this little section up here, so it looks like that's going to be the section that's going to have the standoff between him and Carl. And the first few units about to meet each other now. Not going to go brilliantly for Madstalk, I don't think, since Carl was already up in formation. But more units, of course, trundling their way over. And it does look, at least early game, as though Madstalk seems to have slightly more or slightly heavier concentration of spam coming out, and Carl doesn't want to push too far with these units, otherwise he will just lose them for no real benefit. Spam from Carl starting to be thinned out quite considerably here on the left hand side. That is going to be a nice little area hold for Madstalk. You can see also another little section happening on the reverse side of the map down here, and Madstalk definitely has the advantage in unit numbers down here on this side of the map. First set of inties, it would seem, out for Carl. Got a few over here for Madstalk, but neither player have any air-to-ground attack capability at the moment. It actually looked like Carl's agenda there was to build some T1 point defense, try and secure it that way, but never that happy with trying to build any T1 point defense, because, of course, Artie, and especially Seraphim Artie, just needs to have something done to it. I don't know what. We've been talking about it for quite some time. on the forums and in chat, in the main chat of FAF, and something needs to be changed. Kind of got a few ideas as to myself, but it's like Carl's going to win this little engagement here. He's going to rebuild that point defense. And Madstalk's going to think twice before rushing in there again at the moment, and both sides just massing units up on the two borders at the moment. Carl looking like he's going to have another little probe up at this top section, but going to think better of it. You can see Madstalk's got his comm into the center of the field and is claiming that quantum gateway, so that's a nice chunk of mass. Doesn't want to be destroying it with his units though. That's a pretty bad decision. I'm sure he's aware he's doing that. Interesting. But big engagement here up on the top side of the map. Lots and lots of back and forth. Initial push looked like it was started off by Madstalk, but he has retreated now, and Carl is the one advancing. Just looks like Madstalk has a slight numerical advantage. His stream certainly seems to be more consistent. Down at the bottom side of the map, we've got another push happening from Madstalk. Definitely has the advantage in numbers down here. PD working overtime, but of course it's got so much artillery. It's just sweeping them aside without any real difficulty whatsoever. Just needs to take this one out on the far hand side. And there it goes. Take a look at the economies of both players. Madstalk sitting on 66 mass, I believe, around there. Carl is sitting on 69, so very, very similar in that sense, but just get the feeling that Madstalk is doing more with it at the moment. Mongoose out on the field for Carl, so he has made the transition to Tech 2, and so has Madstalk. So at the same time, both players teching up to the next level, getting out those early units, but of course assault bots massively more helpful units than the Mongoose. Mongoose have that initial alpha range rate of fire or DPS, and then they're kind of done. They're gonna have to back out. You can see assault bots just sweeping aside the Mongoose there. Pillars out on the field as well, the T2 tanks for UEF. And Carl just having to give a little bit of ground here over on the right hand side. At the same time, another push happening up here at the top. We've got a nice mix of Mongoose and units just giving some range to Ras, but so much higher dense unit concentration for Madstalk. Assaultbot's just absolutely wrecking down here. He's gonna survive. 75 hit points on this one. And lives. 18 kills on that assaultbot. Very nicely done. It's still just this kind of Mexican standoff happening up here. Well, not Mexican, that's a three-way one, isn't it? It's just a regular standoff. Mongooses are definitely playing their part though. But Carl just having to give ground on both fronts. Madstalk definitely doing better with the spam, although having just said that, it looks like he is reclaiming this ridge once again. It's sort of, you've got this back and forward thing happening with one player funnels his troops down here and the other one's up here, so he's got the advantage, and then they switch to try and reinforce the other flank. It's kind of an interesting map in a 1v1. I kind of like its inclusion in the ladder, I must admit. Madstalk's actually up to T2 air now. You see he's producing gunships, so that could really change up this dynamic, which is interesting. Have to see Carl very much on T1, so if he's going to be able to deal with this in any sense, it's going to have to be mass Inti, or some kind of T2 mobile flak, but we'll have to see. He has got 2 land factories up and running, so it's a very much a response to what Madstalk has been doing. It's heavy land fight, so he's thinking, rather than switching up tech and trying to go the other way with things, switching up to air, he's going to try to out-tech him, or at least try to pump out more units than Madstalk is on the ground. But the problem is now he has just reached T3, and that is the first siege tank rolling off production for Madstalk, and that could be headaches, because they will absolutely wreck these little T1 blobs of units. There's one lone striker sitting in the middle of the map. I wonder who was piloting that. Somebody with a low IQ, I suspect. Of course, they're all robots, so not really anybody, but you know what I mean. And Carl just having to give up more ground still, not having the force to get. I'm kind of intrigued as to why Madstalk, I mean, he doesn't want to force an engagement that he might have a chance of losing, so but it sort of feels like he has the advantage up here. I mean, there are a lot of mongoose and quite a few pillars in there, so you can understand his apprehension. The question is, where's he moving the siege tanks to? It looks like they're coming down here. He's got one in the makeup already. It's soon to be 2. Another one sitting up front. Now in come the gunships. The question is, what is he going to do with them? He's going to bring them straight on to the main blob, it looks like. Artillery working overtime to fire up on the ridge. There's some T1 anti-air. It's dealing with it okay. And Inti's come in to finish it off. The question is, who has the superior number of Intis? Does look like it might be Carl, but he's getting caught up on running away, which is never good. Now he's having an engagement that is away from his mobile arties. He wants to try and drag Madstalk into a fight over here, and he's definitely come off second best on the micro there. More gunships out for Madstalk on the way over to the right hand side, but Carl is responding by pushing up north, just using the Mongoose's ranged attack to pick off a few units. Gunships definitely making an impact on this southern section. I'm surprised he's not pushing in now. He's got T3 units on the field. He's got the advantage, and if you break here, Carl has to bring units back from up here to defend, and then you can close in. I'd like to see Madstalk being a little bit more aggressive, but never failed someone, or never judged someone too harshly for being a little cautious. You can see Carl is getting up some T1 anti-air. A lot of triads now, so I guess he had a beat on that's what was going up and didn't really want to engage, but there's hardly anything down here now. You've got a couple of pillars, and then it's just T1 garbage. He's spread out the T3 tanks. He's brought them up here, which is an interesting choice. I think if he funneled everything down here and he made a push, he might be able to do something, but the opportunity's slipping away now as this area is getting more heavily fortified by the minute. And you've kind of got a little collection of T2 units which have been massing up here, so it's not overly vulnerable now. Titan's out on the field for Carl, so Carl has made the switch up to T3. Still utilising T2 power. How about Stork? So Stork has got a fusion up. He's getting another one on the way. Let's take a look at the economies of the two players. Carl's sitting on... what is he sitting on? 93. Madstalk's sitting on 100. Madstalk's just edging away slightly in the economy. Of course, he's got much more power as well, which is going to be quite critical at this stage in the game. Now, Carl has put everything on pause. What is he building? Nothing. Nothing of any great reason. Just wants to stop the mass production of T1. It's not going to be helping him that much, he feels. Titan's obviously absolutely superb at thinning out huge swathes of T1. But he is mixing it up with Percivals as well, which I do like to see, because they are just pimp as fuck, and that's going to help him against the occasional T3 unit that he comes up against. Starting to get quite a lot of tanks. We've got a transport here. It looks like Mad Stork is preparing some kind of T3 tank drop. That could be nasty. This is really going to depend on what he's going to do. He's got a lot of gunships as well, so some kind of attack is imminent, you would feel. Gunships away. Heading up to the northern section. Inties look like they're following. Now, is he going to do a two-pronged drop? Yes, he is. So the question is, where is he going to take it, and has he scouted where he's going? Just focusing the mass there with the gunships. Tanks coming in. They're going to go right over that huge bank of T1 anti-air, and that is going to be a horrible waste. What a shame. You know, could have spared one interceptor just to fly over if he wasn't aware of what was there. Oh, that's painful. Because he could have done some serious damage with that if he'd got it in, if he'd flown it over the middle maybe. Landed it in here. Forced units back off the line, could have brought it right in, dropped it right down here maybe. Don't see any significant amounts of anti-air. But I mean, it's very easy for me to stand here and say, of course, because I've got godly vision of the battlefield, but just don't like to see units dying like that. But it would appear as well, those gunships either went down or he brought them back and built more, you can see a experimental assault bot has been started by Mad Stork and a Fat Boy at the same time. So both guys switching it up to experimental tech, feeling like they need something to break this deadlock that they found themselves in. And for a map this small, 28 minutes is pretty good going at this level. Siege tanks easily dispatching the little T1 incursion from Carl. Probably more of a recon exercise than anything else. I'm amazed that Carl's managing to pick up these mass points again. He won't get this one. There's a T1 artillery right in range, it looks like. Let's have a look. Yep. As soon as it tries to build a mass point, he's not even going to try. Yeah, that's sensible. Inties thrown away there just to scout the area. And strap bombers now in production for Mad Stork. The question is, has he seen the Fat Boy? He's got a lot of inties coming over now to take a look, and now he's definitely seen the Fat Boy, so he's going to be concerned. He's going to want to try and take that out before it gets finished, and that would definitely give him a huge advantage if he can get his own experimental up and take out the Fat Boy. But it's quite a big expenditure and investment in a game like this. That's 3 strap bombers, so I believe that's 6,300 or 6,600 mass. Oh, and that's a lot of interceptors for Carl. I'm not sure. They have got another pass coming in. The bombs go away. Oh no, Fat Boy survives. And ASF's on the field now for Mad Stork, but there's just way too many inties for Carl. Oh, that's painful. Good effort though. I mean, that got the Fat Boy down to look like about 800 hit points. But no victory there for Mad Stork, and will that prove to be costly? We shall have to see. This little fire base went up earlier with attack missile launchers, and I can only discern that Carl did an early scout of it and was on the ball, because you can see TMDs littered all over the field, so he clearly managed to defend very nicely against that. You can see now a T3 mobile arty out for Carl, just working on thinning out the front lines of the T1 spam. And Madstalk is bang on it there. He's going to move those units back, try and get them out of range. Interesting, we haven't seen any kind of T3 point defense creep or anything like that for Carl. Always a good tactic as UEF, and I wonder if the lack of Ravagers is going to cost him when this bot gets up, because it's certainly looking like it's going to. Both the Fat Boy and the bot are going to get up. Fat Boy is up and running, and he's going to be trying to harass the blob with its superior range, but of course that's not going to help when this comes marching towards you, and this could be Carl's undoing if he hasn't got anything to deal with it. If he doesn't spot this early enough. Carl is upgrading his commander. Wondering if that's a T3 building upgrade. If it is, that could help a lot. If it can help him get some Ravagers up nice and quickly. Not seeing many T3 engineers on the field for him at the moment. He's definitely having power issues. You can see he's trying to spam up this fusion as quickly as possible. Let's take a look at the deficit that he's in. Huge power issues. Minus 1800. Does look like he's economically better off than Madstalk, though, in terms of mass, which is quite surprising. So he's been maybe doing a slightly better job on eco. There's a lot of T3 ASFs out on the field now. And a few spy planes. He's going to send one over. Let's see what he can see. See, there's the Fat Boy. Of course, that's going to be promptly zapped out of the sky, because Carl has been diligently working on some SAMs. Oh, and that Fat Boy's just going to wreck that blob. Wise move by Madstalk, moving that back. But the assault bot is closing in very quickly on Carl's home base. Question is, does Carl know what it is? He does now, because the Inties have just flown directly overhead, and he's having to move everything over there to try and intercept it. Commander is building T3 Ravagers now, so that must have been a T3 production upgrade. Slow this down just a smidge. Oh, and this is going to be really costly. See Ravagers firing away, but another Fat Boy have been started, so that's going to absorb some of the impact. But the main weapons now focusing on the commander. I would be moving my commander out of there. I don't know why Carl isn't. He wants to hold his ground. He thinks he can get it. The question is, will he? No, he won't. And very interestingly, the assault bot got a huge health increase there, which I thought, this is now 3615 or whatever. I thought that was taken out in a previous patch, or at least the patch we're on at the moment. But yeah, pretty long game there, 36 in-game minutes. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, no, the only reason I'm querying that is I thought the assault bot, the Monkey Lord, the GC, and so on, those kind of experimentals were going to have the ability to, when they rank up, not get the huge health increases, because it's kind of imber. You know, you just you think you're about to take out an experimental and it kills one extra unit and suddenly gets a huge health section of health back, and then continues destroying your entire army. So it's kind of retarded. It doesn't look like that's up and running or working at the moment, so maybe it's a later patch Zep's planning to do it on, but that would definitely, well, I'd say it wouldn't definitely, it might have changed things there. It was certainly, I don't know why Carl didn't move his commander back there. Maybe he was knackered. This game was very late last night, but that was a pretty good one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I say, I will be getting back into the casting game now, hopefully bringing you some more games, but I can only bring games to you that I can get my hands on. So do me a favor, guys, like and subscribe, and also keep sending me those replays. As I say, I promise I'll take a look at them. But in the meantime, that is me done, and take it easy. See you next time.